So one of my previous videos, I talked about a study about how 65% of men, in safe spaces, right? Go watch that video. Now I got a fun amount of engagement across all platforms, and what I gathered from a lot of the comments was, I felt like I was creating a us versus them situation, and that's unfortunately not true. So I want to be clear about what my intentions were, right? When I say men need safe spaces to open up, it doesn't I'm not saying that they need that instead of women. I'm not saying they deserve that more than women. It is not my intention to minimize women's struggles, and I'm not blaming women for anything, right? You have to understand that. What I'm saying is that many men were taught that vulnerability is a weakness, that vulnerability makes them weak. Silence is strength, right? And that's not true. Silence hurts a lot of us. It's hurt me in my past. When my father died, my father passed away when I was 12. When my father died, my mom told me my dad died. When I woke up one morning, he was unfortunately murdered. And my mom was crying as she told me that, and I didn't cry. I didn't cry until 5 days later, while I was in the middle of school, and it just hit me while I was at recess. I was 12 years old. So it took a while for me to process and release those emotions. And I believe that's because of the world that I was raised in. You know what I mean? So I believe silence hurts us. It hurts our relationships. It hurts our mental health. It hurts our families. It hurts our communities. Because I wasn't able to grieve with my mother in the moment. My mom was suffering. My mom was crying. And I was just like, okay, all right. And now she's not only suffering and crying, but she's wondering what's wrong with her son. Right? So I want you guys to understand that this isn't a men versus women conversation. It's a wounded people trying to heal in a world that never taught us how conversation. Right? Women deserve safe spaces, men deserve safe spaces, and we need each other to create that. That's the truth of it, right? I never want my message to feel like a battle line between women, men and women, women and women. Because that's not the world I want. That's not the world I'm advocating for. I want you guys to know that, right? I speak specifically on men's mental health because I feel like we are lacking in having that community where we can communicate with each other effectively, right? When men feel safe to speak, we become better partners. We become better fathers. We become better friends. We become better humans. So I'm not taking away anything from women. This isn't about taking anything away from women. It's about building something healthier for everyone. And I hope that clears some things up.